Hello, everybody. Hello, YouTube. This is round 8 and 9 of the 2022 World Cup. So the first game, I'm going to bring it to you in the cross tables format, and the second game will be in the Quackle format. Why I did this, who knows? And hello also to Twitch, that I already said hello to. But this is round 8. I was playing my nemesis, Jackson Smylie, the eventual winner of the tournament. And this game, although it was only round 8, it had immense importance because Jackson and I go back and forth in terms of when we play in tournaments. Whoever wins the first game tends to win the tournament or does better than the other one. So this is an important game to win for both of us because it would give us confidence for the rest of the tournament, especially over the other if we had to play again. Anywho, Jackson's my most played opponent in tournaments. We actually have over 150 annotated games, but I think only like less than 100 of those are tournament games. Actually, let's see. Yeah, I was looking 151 annotated games. Man, this photo is so cringe. Yeah, we've played 76 times in tournaments. The other annotated games are casual or I guess we've played 77 times. Count this game. The other games are casual or like series that we did against each other. You had an 18-game losing streak on Woogles. Well, let's focus on other stuff then. So I opened with Ohio. This is a weird move. There were other options, like even just playing off the K with like hike or even HAIK was possible here. I liked keeping the K and sort of setting it up. But there are a lot of options that are really, really close. I could have also played oik or koi, keeping the H, but everything seems very close. Jackson responds with Axel. I have this rack. The best score I can do is play knifed, keeping the A. And here Jackson makes a mistake in playing ad end. He had caddied through the I, getting rid of all 3 of his Ds. Which would have, I mean, Adend did as well, but all the Ds were gone after 4 moves. But caddied was just a lot more points. So he makes a slight miss there. I play Barf. I'm struggling with fouls here. Keeping arms on my rack seems pretty good. Jackson plays Lin, and I bingo with Reamer. So far, everything's totally fine. He plays rarely. He could have maybe played Cry. He mentions that in the annotation, but rarely is nice to just keep the scoring pressure on. And here I got into this position and I had a play in mind if he blocked VROUW, which he did, of course. And that play was not very good. I was not a huge fan of it at all. But I just thought that like it was very, very useful and could work out pretty well for me. And that play was a vowel for 16. And a vowel for 16 is just not a good play. The reason I played a vowel is not to block some S hook because Axel does not take an S. I learned that one the hard way many years ago. But the reason I played a vowel is to block scoring and bingos from the L, block this N, sort of clamp down on the board. So like aesthetically, the play is good. But it scores 16 points and leaves me with UE, which is really not good. Just leaves me vulnerable to Jackson scoring over a couple of turns or even just bingoing. So something like EEW we discussed, or EWE on the J column, even though it keeps horribly with AAOUV, it probably makes more sense because I'm taking a 56-point lead on a board that doesn't have much going for it. And there are lots of O's left, but if I draw an O, I actually get the play of Vodun, which I did not see in the game, which definitely would have tipped the scales for me. Just an O draw, which is not like incredibly likely, but it's somewhat likely. I get to play off all of my bad letters, and keep two A's, but Vodun was very nice. And had I seen that I could draw stuff like that, and also I could just play off my V with like lava. Just there are many reasons why I should have scored here rather than played a vowel. This isn't a terrible mistake by any means, but I think it was pretty bad to do this. There's also just playing a vow at 2L, which was mentioned just now in the Twitch chat, which is actually a decent play. It's 25 points, gives back some scoring on the triple, but yeah, I really just tunneled on this move here. There are other options that made sense, like even just like mauve is probably okay, and yeah, I made a mistake here for sure. And then Jackson, I mean, he makes a very, very difficult to find necrosing his better bingo here, but Crosians is very good. And now he's ahead by 33. And to my UE, I draw a normal set of tiles, HILOO, which is about the sort of draw I was going to get most of the time. And I'm at a disadvantage now. So I play Housel. It's worth noting that I could leave the L off here, but the 3 points are actually worth it. The L doesn't help the I and the O that much. And here Jackson plays Cobb. I play LOUP. I don't know why my rack wasn't there. I had AIST with this play. I guess I forgot to enter my rack, but loop was the best play in the position, keeping AIST. And here Jackson makes a really nice extension of houseling, and he's up by 50. And the best I have is Acton's, just trying to open the board a little bit, score some points. Maybe I can draw the Z or something and keep scoring, or maybe I can bingo. And yeah, Jackson just has a win here immediately. He can play jettying through the N, but he talked himself out of it, and he played jetting, which still leads him to win the game a very, very large amount of the time, as it puts him up over 60 points, and yeah, keeps a Y, which is a nice scoring tile. And here my rack was not EIOOPST, it was EIOUST blank, and I held the word jetting, and I was just like, this is like a normal word, right? Am I crazy? Is this just like, have I checked this before? And I had this fake memory that I made up of checking jetted and that it wasn't a word. But jetting, I mean, it just seemed like a word, but my chances of winning the game, if jetting was a word, were so low, even though I'm going to be bingoing next turn, that I decided that I would just challenge the word, even though it's a normal English word. But of course, normal English words tend to escape me at times. And so the game is over now because I challenge. Although, had I played a bingo anyway, Jackson was probably going to win this pre-end game. He plays Oyez for 53. I play Gaudiest. He plays off the Q to not get stuck with it. I play Griot. He plays 2, and I miss my better outplay of EME. At E3, and the game is over. So I lose by 40. Kind of a sad game. Both of us made some mistakes. Neither of us were really proud of our play, but challenging a word like jetting is pretty bad. Pretty bad. But it was a logical choice. Had jetting not been like a normal word, maybe I would have given myself a pass. But yeah, I mean, on the score sheet, I had a lot of stuff written down. One of those things was when he played jetting, I wrote down the alphagram of jetted and jetting, and it looked sort of good, sort of bad. I wrote down reamers. I was trying to remember if Da took an S, which was really funny. And yeah, that's about it. That was the game against Jackson. So he wins by 40. And at this point, I am 5-3 after losing to Jackson. So let's pivot to round 9. Directly after round 8, we played first thing in the morning, Jackson and I, and round 9 was against Joey Krafchick. And let's pivot over to Quackle here. Everything's set. Yes. Sorry if you saw the final board and score already. Spoilers. But Joey opens with Dowie. I play Nestlers. It's worth noting that I could play Nestlers here, but it's slightly worse because I'm giving Joey a T, an L, an E, an R, and an S to play through. Whereas with this Nestlers, I'm only giving him an N, an E, an S, and a T because the S is duplicated. I did mention previously that with the opening bingo that Noah Walton played against me, it's not necessarily a good idea to duplicate an S on a board like this. So it could be argued that giving him 2 S's long term is worse than giving him the TLERS. But a Quackle simulation thinks that my play was correct by around a point. So I won't be results oriented, though. Joey plays toe plane, which would not have fit after the other Nestlers. So maybe there's something to be said about being oriented by the result that happened here. And actually, at the end of the game, I thought this was a mistake of playing Gop. I thought that the play of Catgut here through the T and toe plane was actually a better play than Gop, which is what I played in the game. But it turns out that Gop is probably fine. And the other play I could consider is Aglu. Though that sort of is at cross purposes with what I'm trying to do, leave the board open and try to bingo. But Aglu does allow me to score pretty well and leaves the CAPT leave, which is pretty versatile. So this is a position where I thought I went wrong because what ended up happening is Joey bingoed with ruralism. And here I took forever and missed adjunct for 78 points. Better bingo than what I played untraced through this R, which was only 70 points. And that was obviously a mistake, but it wouldn't have stopped what happened next. And what happened next is Joey said, voodoo draw, and then laid this down. Heighten for 185. Completely crushing my hopes and dreams of winning this game, but also more generally, because my record against Joey is pretty bad. And I had every chance I get to write that record is important. But after Heighten, I'm down 200 points, and the game is pretty much over. So I did think that Gop was a mistake, but it turns out it might not be. But it's possible that I should play Aglu here, even though it just scores so much less. Or Catgut. I don't think Catgut is right, but both of those would have prevented Heighten. Missing my bingo of adjunct would not have prevented, or seeing my bingo of adjunct would not have prevented Heighten. But again, this is being results oriented. I was just trying to see, like, isn't there something I could have done? And all 3 of these moves, to be honest, are like debatable. They're all, I mean, untraced is obviously wrong. But yeah, maybe if I had played adjunct, I would have drawn into a triple of my own and stayed in the game that way. So yeah, or something, yeah. Just playing the right move might have led to something completely different. But yeah, Yeah, when Joey said voodoo draw, it was just like, okay. Because the way Joey approaches Scrabble is a lot different than the way I approach Scrabble. Um, he's way more like he's way more into the idea that you can't win games because of luck than I am. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, maybe if I played adjunct, I would have tripled eventually. But we'll never know. So the game is lost in this position, and I have this rack. And yes, I played TI for 2 points. This was kind of a tilt play, but it also had a purpose. And that purpose was not only to set up my Z with Tiz, but also I noticed a lot of E's unseen. Um, so if I draw an E, I get analyze, which opens a triple, and I might actually win after that. So if Joey tries to block the setup, I draw my E, and his rack is horrible, I actually might come back. So I was still trying to fight, even though my play was only 2 points. This was a fighting play. I could play analyze here or even analyze here. Actually, might have been. That's actually 2 more points. Yeah. Um, but analyze here, it's harder. It's easier to block the triple. So I don't know. If I had drawn the E, we would have been debating it. But yeah, Joey doesn't even block. So he lets me play Azan. I draw another A. So no analyze. He plays B. I play flat. And yeah, at this point, like the game's over. He bingos. I play gay. He plays Vift. I play je. He plays Sank. These are all the right plays. Mauve, Oxo, and Dinky, best endgame play. Gross, also the best endgame play. And I go out with Rhett for 7, and Joey wins 611 to 399. So we scored 1,010 points in total this game, but unfortunately, only one of us scored over 600. So yeah, a very sad loss, bringing me at 2 losses to start the day, and at 5-4, 5-4 in the event. So yeah, it was definitely going to be an uphill battle. 5-4 isn't dead, but it's pretty difficult to claw your way back in when you're 5-4. All things remaining the same. So yeah, 2 kind of sad games, but I got to bring them to you, just to show you sometimes Scrabble's kind of unforgivable. Um, I don't think I played horrendously in either of the 2 games, but I could have improved, and I probably could have won both of them. Not sure how I was supposed to win this game, but maybe adjunct would have done it. And yeah, maybe if I had been more confident of Gop, I would have shaken the tiles differently, and he wouldn't have drawn Heighten out of the bag. That's my final answer. So yeah, rounds 8 and 9 are done, are complete, and gonna bring you guys round 10, round 11 at some point very, very soon. So stay tuned, and hope you enjoyed.